Hey pod people, and welcome back to the channel and another episode of Records After Dark. Tonight on Rad we're going to take a look at the Creepshow soundtrack on vinyl, so stick around, let's talk vinyl. Hey Pod Squad, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me tonight as we talk about the Creepshow soundtrack from the 1982 film written by Stephen King and directed by George Romero. This soundtrack is quintessential to me just because I watched this movie so many times growing up. This album's going to be a little different than most of the soundtracks, whether they be horror soundtracks or just regular film scores, that I would review on this channel, just because of the fact that Creepshow was made up of 5 tales of terror are presented. But it's really 5 vignettes that, while all being in the same kind of Stephen King horror theme, are all completely disassociated and separate from each other. And in these stories, the themes and the feeling of the music are needed to completely convey different types of emotions. So what we'll see going from track to track in this is a lot of disparity between the different parts of the movie. The film starred Hal Holbrook, Adrienne Barbeau, Fritz Weaver, Leslie Nielsen, Ted Danson, Ed Harris, and more, as if you needed them. It was a fun story. I enjoyed both Creepshow and Creepshow 2, and this soundtrack is a lot of fun. I definitely recommend checking it out, although, as many of you know, a lot of times I like to use albums to immerse myself in the comic books that I'm reading or something else that I'm doing. And the Creepshow soundtrack isn't the most immersive album out there. Again, because of how different parts of the film had such different themes and such different feelings, that you'll go from sinister sounds to creepy sound effects, and in some cases it's not much more than a couple of out-of-tune player pianos playing dissonant songs overlapping each other. And although it is all wonderfully horrific and creepy to have playing in the background, it doesn't have a very strong overarching theme. I do really enjoy it though. It does have a beautiful gatefold cover. I will make sure to do some overhead view shots of those. And this one in particular came in like kind of a really pretty purple swirl color, and I know that there are other versions. I think they may have made 5 different custom colors, one to represent one of the stories in the movie. So definitely worth your time, if nothing else, just for a fun listen. And if you're a fan of the movie, if you're a George Romero freak and you've watched everything that he's done a million times, you absolutely should get this. It is only a single vinyl, so it makes it a quick listen through, and I think it's a lot of fun. And that's my video on the Creepshow soundtrack from the 1982 film. Thank you so much for joining me, Podheads. I appreciate every one of you. Please subscribe if you haven't already, like below, and ring that bell for notifications so you know when I post new videos. As always, I'll catch you on the flip side. Good night.